So, today we're talking about the PSU. What does PSU stand for? Power Supply Unit. Good. So, check this out. Your PC may look like a futuristic spaceship, but without power supply, it is just a dead hunk of metal. The PSU is the energy reactor. It sucks in all the raw wall power and then transforms it into slick DC current and feeds every chip. No PC, no boot, no life. Nothing at all. So this thing is literally the heart of your rig. Okay, now, alright, let's speak energy. What is voltage? That's the pressure. What is amps? That's the flow. And what are the watts? That's the muscle. Volts times amps equals total power. The resistance is the drag, the friction, and AC is the wall power that is bouncing back and forth like a ping pong ball, and DC is the pure one-way flow. That is what your CPU and your GPU actually eat. So the PSU is actually a translator. It sounds basic, but but trust me, the maths is exam gold. And now we talk about the power protection, which are the force fields. Your PC is battling lag. It's battling lightning, surges, burnouts, blackouts, surge suppressors. What are the surge suppressors? They are the shields absorbing the voltage strikes, and and what is a UPS system? A UPS system is they are the backup batteries, like an Iron Man's arc reactor when the city grid goes dark. Standby, line inactive online, line interactive online. One good is better to ultimate. Pro tip, always size by watts, not just VA. And yeah, when the storm hits, unplug. Nothing beats Mother Nature. So, now let me tell you about the energy converters, which is here's where the energy actually happens. The PSU converts AC chaos into clean DC rails. 3 DC rails. Number one is the plus 3.3 voltage, and the other one is plus 5 voltages, and then there is the heavyweight champion, which is the plus 12 voltages. Size does matter, and it has to fit the case. Efficiency matters more. That's less heat, less waste. Look for the 80 plus badge, or the bronze, gold, or platinum titanium. And every modern PSU has active PFC, which is power factor correction, which soothing the juice actually sounds like sci-fi capacitor. So that is what the 880 plus certification is. These are the voluntary standards that satisfy efficiency ranging from the bronzo to the titanium, which are the high tiers, means better efficiency. And then active PFC, which is active power factor correction, now mandatory in most regions. It ensures a smoother and more stable electrical draw and reducing stress on the power grid. Okay, and now we talk about the connectors. Plug into the grid. Now, exam alert, know your plugs. The P1 is the main connector, which is the 20 pin or the 24 pin. And then there's the CPU, which is the P4, which is the 4 pin or the EPS 12V8 8 pin. And then there's the GPU, which is the PCIe. Speaking of PCIe, do you even know what that means? Let me remind you. PCIe stands for Peripheral Component interconnect express. Peripheral component interconnect express. Now you know. Continuing. The PCIe 6-pin or the 8-pin, right? Please don't try to mix it with the CPU 8-pin. That would fry the city. And then there are the drives. The drives are your SATA power and with an L shape or a music school Molex. What does SATA stand for? Correct. Serial Advanced Technology Attachment. That's what SATA stands for. And SATA has the 15-pin with the L shape. And then there's all the drives which use the Molex. But that's it. Then there's things like the legacy, which is the floppy connectors. But we don't have to talk about that. This is the wiring harness of the future. Recognize them on site. You need to be able to just see them to know them. You need to be able to know them before you even see them. And now we're going to talk about the ATX power evolution. And now we're going to talk about the ATX power evolution. The PSU tech didn't sit still. It actually evolved. And now we're going to talk about its evolution. It actually went from the ATX 20-pin. Wait, what does ATX stand for? Advanced Technology Extended. Yeah. ATX, it went from the ATX 20-pin, which just had like soft power and motherboard control, to the ATX 12V 1.3, which actually added like a 4-pin CPU power connector. And then when you go to the ATX 12V 2.0 version, that is the standardized 24-pin and with a SATA power. And then we go to the EPS 12V, which is the 8-pin CPU and multi-rail safety. These are all great advancements. And today the multi-rail and the single rail, the PSU both works fine. You know, the PSU, you don't have to know what's better between the multi-rail or the single rail. The PSU both work in the PSU, they both work fine. And it's the evolution of power standards, like an Iron Man suit getting deadlier every generation, more powerful. Do you even know how to install your PSU? Let me tell you about it. Installing the PSU is more than bolting in the box and mounting the 4 screws. And remember, the ATX PSU are never truly off. They are sipping 5 voltages of standby power. Always unplug before you touch anything, and make sure you're wearing an ESD strap on your hand. Yeah, so then that's when you actually connect the P1. You have to connect what? You have to connect the P1, the CPU, the GPU, the drives, and you keep the airflow flowing, front intake and the rear exhaust. And then the case fans can plug into the Molex and the headers for control. The side panels on and not off. The airflow is a science. Your PSU is an exhaust system with a whole rig to it. And then when we talk about the PSU failure symptoms, one of the symptoms are the fact that here's where most techs earn their stripes. Types of PSU death. Number 1, there's the sudden one, and then there's the slow one. The sudden one is like no power, no fans, dead silence. And then the slow one is the nightmare. Random reboots, you get the blue screens of death, you get like peripherals vanishing. Exam tip, the intermittent problems. Think of the PSU first, and here's the golden rule: never open the PSU. Dangerous voltages live inside even when unplugged. And to fix it, you don't have to fix it. Just replace it, period. Modern rigs aren't one size fits all. There are modular PSUs that let you detach cables, which is which are cleaner builds and better airflow. And then there's the there's the server run redundant PSUs, and if one dies, the other instantly takes over, which is like zero downtime. Small form factor, the small form factor PCs use for the SFX. I don't know what SFX stands for, the TXX units. What does the SFX stand for? It stands for what? It stands for small form factor extended. And then what does the TFX stand for? It stands for thin form factor extended. And then the SFX or the TFX units are the units will be squeezed into the mini cases, which is going to help when you have like high-end gaming rigs. When you talk about high-end gaming rigs, that's when the multi-rail or the single rail, they both rock solid, and it's all about tailoring the power core to the mission. So now that we've discussed all different types of PSUs, and now you know all their specialities, which one are you getting? Okay, and now it's time for us to wrap it up. When it comes to, you need to memorize all the connectors, which is the types of the P1, the GPU, and the SATA, and all the allocated associated voltages, And then you need to understand the ATX standards for evolution and the purpose. You need to be able to differentiate between the troubleshooting symptoms, between the sudden death and the slow death. And then you need to be able to recall all the valuable roles or the vital roles of surge suppressors and the UPS power protection. That's all you need. And then you got this. You win. You pass the exam.